Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. Today is going to be a light one, not necessarily light on subject matter, but light in terms of length. So I want to just say that these videos are much more than just me talking to you. Lately, I have had some of the most profound, intense, sincere, clever, wise, astute, thoughtful, and insightful comments that have come to the comment section. And I realized the value of these channels is just not the talking head on one side, but if you go deep into the comment section, there are a lot of people who have a lot to say. And I have found recently that there is more value in the comment section than maybe the message that I'm delivering on my videos. So please be sure to look through the comment section and read what people are saying. I think you'll find that it's not only valuable on my channel, but I think that's the case in many channels. And that's just the beautiful thing about YouTube in regards to the internet being able to share so much information. Okay, and on that note, I'm actually going to do a collaboration with somebody who is another YouTuber in the space on Tuesday my time. So it'll be Monday in the West. And we're going to just talk about this particular subject because he too believes that the community that's watching these videos, their voice is so valuable, and we're starting to see that in the comment sections. He's seeing it as well. So that is going to be our topic. I think we're going to do it live. I'm not sure. We're going to do a test call tomorrow, and we will see how exactly we do it. But I believe we're going to make that available on Tuesday. Okay, so yesterday I got a comment from a subscriber by the name of Colette, and she put a link in there to a video that took that was uploaded actually in 2014 by Andreas Antonopoulos. And Andreas Antonopoulos, if you don't know, I'm sure most of you, probably 99% of you know who he is, but he is definitely the person that I went to when I first got into this space back in 2013. And I think that he is one person that deserves a tremendous amount of respect. Now, whether or not you agree with his ideology or the fact that he might be a maximalist at times, it's okay. Please be accepting of everybody's position, as I am so accepting of everybody's voice who comes onto the comment section. Because even if you don't agree with me, your voice matters, your comment matters, your opinion matters. So I think we all have to just be a little bit more tolerant of people who don't maybe align 100% with our thinking. But this particular video, which was suggested that I go and see, and by the way, I read all the comments. It's my morning coffee time. So usually I upload late at night, and then I have my coffee time reading and responding to the comments in the comment section. So I do read everybody's comments, and I invite you to give me your opinion on anything that you feel, because you really do have a voice here. All right, so Andreas talks about his frustration with the payment services, and he talks about in this video, which let me just take you to that video here. And at the 27 mark, 27 minutes into the video, it's a long one. It's an hour and 35 minutes long. It's one of his best speeches. He has a huge amount of spark and hope and spunk in his voice. And Andreas, I still think you do, but in this speech in particular, you really had some good energy going. So he talks about, at that time, it was a $550 billion market for global remittances. And it's grown a little bit since then. But he is very precise in stating that the poorest people on the planet are being robbed of a 10% fee, and he cites Western Union in this case, taking it for profit. And that if people were to use Bitcoin, he says, and I quote, "We can fix that with Bitcoin in the next couple of years," because, of course, the cost to do fiat to Bitcoin and back to fiat in local currency is just, as he states, like 1% of the cost that's being charged to those people now. And if you take those immigrants that are working overseas, that one person is typically supporting 12 people back in their home country. And as Marcos just said in the Ripple drop, that the savings can bring anywhere from 3 to 4 meals to a family per month. That's a big deal. And most of this money ends up in the hands of women, the remittances. And they're responsible for the healthcare, the education, the children, and the community projects. So Andreas says that we really need to look at how these people are being taken advantage of, and that the savings needs to go back into the hands of the people who earned it. And I couldn't agree more. And of course, I think that Bitcoin has still this possibility of providing this service, as well as today we see that this is what XRP is doing. And this is why I think that people who think that there isn't any true value to Ripple and the XRP solution is just not getting correct information. Because the fact that this is really changing the lives of 2 billion people is a fact. And just, we all need to remember why we are doing this. And the reason why we're doing this is because of the black swan. And this is what Andreas says. And that black swan happens to be Bitcoin. And all the credit, in my opinion, goes to Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, if it's a he, a she, or a they, I don't care. But the point is that if we didn't have those white papers, we wouldn't have this solution today. So please, this is not an ideological conversation, and this isn't a tribal conversation. This is a conversation about the technology is able to improve the lives of more than 2 billion people. And I think that's a good thing. And if we look back at that same time, this is actually a letter that was drafted the day after Andreas gave that speech in Melbourne. And it was dated the 27th of November 2014, and it comes from Ripple Labs with their Bush Street address. And you can see that it is a letter to the Senate Standing Committee on Economics in Australia. And it was prepared by Dilip Rao. He, of course, is the Global Head Infrastructure Innovation at Ripple. If you don't know a lot about him, he started a company back in, gosh, I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. I think 2014. Well, that's when he left the company Warmest Labs in Palo Alto. And Ripple was his first customer. They were a company that worked with startups to solve enterprise issues. And even before that, he started a payment plan called Paymate, which was one of the first P2P payment solutions for Australians on eBay. So he's been in the space a long time. And right now, if you go and search the YouTube for Dilip Rao, you can hear a really great video, a short one. He's speaking from Bahrain, I believe, and talks about all of the partners in the Middle East and Northern Africa that Ripple is working with. And he cites specific countries. So I think, yeah, it's fun to look at this because in regards to the original onset of business model that Ripple had, they have really stayed on track and stayed focused. So if you're interested in reading how they explain what they do to the Australian Senate committee, it's very, very interesting. And I just think that we can't forget that both Bitcoin and XRP are able to make this world a better place. All right. So Black Swan. If you don't know what a black swan is, it is an event or an occurrence that deviates beyond what is normally expected of a situation and is extremely difficult to predict. So black swan events are typically random and unexpected. Yeah, there's a book by a writer, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and he wrote this book called The Black Swan. He uses the 2008 financial crisis as a kind of example of how it was impossible to predict this catastrophic situation that occurred in banking, but that if we can survive these black swans, it actually strengthens us against the catastrophes that can occur in the future. And that's where I go into my fluff. So back in March of 2011, if you remember, Japan had a very large tsunami and strong earthquake. In fact, I think it was the fourth largest earthquake since 1900. It actually changed the rotation of the planet. And Japan has lots of natural disasters, but I wanted to bring up the point that in going through many natural disasters, Japan is one of the most prepared countries in the world, I think, when it comes to national disasters preparation and also response. And one of the things that children have here in Japan is a Docomo children's cell phone. And it's not really a cell phone. It's more of, well, it can communicate with parents and their mobile phones, but it basically is a very simplified, stripped down version. And it's primarily used to communicate in cases of emergency. It also has this buzzer that can be pulled if the child feels they are in danger, and it will send out a GPS position. And it also provides a very easy kind of one-touch text or phone capability so that children doesn't have to remember a number. Yeah, and if you don't know, children in Japan take the train, take the bus, and walk to school alone at a very young age. It's one of the shocking things as a foreigner from the West to see. And in the city in particular, there are thousands of kids in the morning and afternoons that are all by themselves. And it has kind of a sense of community watch. And no, there are some problems that occur in the countryside, but in the city, these children have millions of eyes literally watching them. So kids age of 6, 7, 8 years old are making their commute by train alone. This is a typical morning commute time. These are two young boys with their knapsacks and uniforms. Here is another typical picture. No adults. No adults. Of course, adults are everywhere because adults are in the train platforms, but they don't have any parents or guardians with them. They are doing it solo. And you can see here, this is the little children's K-Tai it's called, which is the cell phone. Here's another one right here. So all the kids will be walking with their backpacks, and those K-Tais are attached to the straps, and off they go every morning and go back home every afternoon. So I just didn't know if you knew that. If you come to Japan, you'll see it. If you are in Tokyo, you'd be surprised how they can get along just fine at age 6 and 7 years old. Okay, everybody, that's it. Have a really good weekend. And I look forward to, I think the next time I see you, I will have teamed up with this other YouTube influencer who is in this space. And I hope we can bring you something fun. All right? It's been a while since I did something. I think the last time I did any combination with another YouTuber was with CKJ. And he was so enjoyable. Okay, so take care, everybody. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.